Let's talk stuff. Parents shit. They think that we want it, but we don't. And I just was with a friend of mine, Matt Paxton. And if you don't know who he is, he's got a couple books out. He is working with AARP. He's working with a heck of a lot of organizations about our parents' stuff. And if you don't know how to get rid of your parents' stuff, I got a video for you. I videoed him today for you. So I'm coming in with what do we do with our parents' shit when we don't want it and our kids don't want it, because he's got some great tips and tricks for us. So let me show you.
No one has ever said, move me back. So if you're thinking about it, man, get going, figure out where you're going to go first, and then go create your legacy list tonight, and then clean 10 minutes a day. I'm the guy from Hoarders. That's the best way people know me. I've done a lot of other things. Most importantly, I'm really proud of this book, Keep the Memories, Lose the Stuff. I told this story the other day, or I just told some people. I wrote that book 4 years ago. Actually, I wrote it 5 years ago. I had completely finished the book. It was lots of great tips of how to downsize and declutter. And then I fell in love with this girl and I had to move. And I got stuck in my attic, going through my dad's stuff, going through my mom's stuff, going through my grandfather's stuff. And I was paralyzed. And I couldn't move with all these great men that raised me. I was going through their things. And I called it AARP and I said, this book sucks, guys. Like, I can't, I'm stuck. If I'm stuck, how in the world are my clients going to like this? And so I literally said, I want to rewrite the book. And they said, and I completely rewrote the book. And so what you'll see today is kind of a crash course on how to get started from those emotions. But if you're here just for tips, the number one tip is it ain't about the stuff. It's about all the emotions and the people that you care about. We talk a lot about wealth transfers and all that. You know, this is right now it's the largest amount of money to ever be transferred ever. What people don't talk about is the tangible goods, the physical stuff. $3 trillion right now, stuff being passed down from the boomer generation to Gen X. All of this stuff is holding us back from the life that we want, right? All right, I'll leave this up here. I'll let you read that for a second. If you haven't seen that one, most people have seen this already. Now you can read it two different ways. Really, three different ways. If you're the guy on the left, one day, this will all be yours. And if you're the guy on the right, one day this is all going to be mine. And what I'm finding out, a lot of you are both. We're in that sweet spot where your parents have just passed away. You're getting all their stuff. And you're ready to retire and move and get rid of your stuff. And so you got to receive things and get rid of things. Lots of times now I walk into a house and they're like, well, that's my great aunt's stuff over there. That's my sister's stuff over there. That's our stuff over there. My mom's stuff has filled the basement. And my 35-year-old daughter just moved back in. And she's taken over the basement. We're finding multiple generations stacked on top of each other. Right? But it's all filled with what? Stuff, and what's attached to that stuff? Memories. What have I learned? All right, why do we hold on to things? Well, we need them. We think we might need them later. They were expensive. This is the only one that I'll say is real. They were expensive. That's real. Right? We think they might be worth a lot. Spoiler alert, they won't. If someone asks me to sell their Beanie Babies again, I'm going to go crazy. I think their grandkids will want it someday. Again, these are all justifications for keeping things. Right? We already know that we want to get rid of it. We already know that we want to live our life. We've just got to find a way to let go of it. These are just excuses you tell yourself to let go of it. Right? The real reasons, I think I've already said it, is the people and the emotions attached to it. When we let go, we tell the stories. Period. Right? We tell the stories. You could really look at this two different ways. The most important thing I'll tell you is you got to know where you're going before you can downsize. Right? Now, ironically, we're in a community. I get that. Right? But so many people will call me, I'm ready to downsize. Great, where are you going? I don't know. How can you pack for a vacation if you don't know if it's going to be sunny or snowing? Am I going to Miami? Or am I going to Denver? I would have to know to be able to pack. Same thing for moving into a community. I need to know how I'm going to lay out that room. I need to know what can I take with me. Make the decision at the right time so you actually are able to make the decision. The one thing that keeps me there is where you're going and your why. I think your why is extremely important. The why is why you're moving. Is it for better health care? Is it for proximity to family? Is it for socialization, to be around friends? What is your reason for deciding? Is it you just don't want to keep up with your house anymore? They're all valid reasons. But when you're downsizing, I want you to write it down and put it on the wall. Like literally write it on a piece of paper and tape it on every room in the house. Because downsizing is like weight loss. It is extremely easy to quit. It's the easiest thing to do. All you have to do in downsizing is to say, I don't want to deal with this. I'm not going to do it today. So I put that why up on the wall. You write down your why. Why are you moving? Is it for health? Is it for better food? Whatever it is. Don't lie to yourself. Put it on a piece of paper, put it on the wall, and that will keep you from quitting. 2, start small. So many people decide that they're going to just take on the whole house in one day. Again, we said average number in this room was 20 to 25 years. You're not going to knock it out in one weekend. So start small. Right? Start very small. 10-minute sweep is what I talk about. First couple nights, when you go home tonight, you're going to be motivated enough to start. All I want you to do is 10 minutes. That's it. 10 minutes. 10-minute sweep is really important. It keeps you from quitting. If you jump and try to do too much, you're going to be like, never mind. And you're going to quit again. Right? So 10 minutes, believe it or not, I do 10 minutes every night, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. What about Friday, Saturday? I don't know, go do something fun. This year, I am not going to spend the next 3 years cleaning out my house. And that is my advice to you. Yes, you've waited 25. That's okay. But I want you to still live. What I hate is when I see people say, okay, all I'm going to do this year is clean out. Do you really need to go through that many birthday cards from 1976? 10 minutes, start small, get into it. Because what it'll do is it'll build strength, and it'll let you know that you can get started. It's not about what you do finish. It's about that you can accomplish. Yes, ma'am?
You said 10-minute sweep. What is a 10-minute sweep?
Sweep. I like to pick a place small, like a small area that's very achievable. Like if I'm working with a widower, I'm not going to have him start in his wife's closet. That's not a success. That's not a successful area to start. We are going to go through. I like the junk drawer. It's the top drawer on the left of your kitchen. It's got rubber bands. It's got batteries. And the Bed Bath & Beyond coupons that are expired. The blue ones? Yeah. I know because I've been in everyone's house. Right? By the way, that business is out of business. It's not expired. Bed Bath & Beyond went out of business, and then a lady goes, well, they're coming back online. I go, that coupon is not valid. You can get rid of them. Right? I want you to pick. By the way, everyone's laughing. Why are you laughing? Because you all have that space in your house. It's very normal. You are not alone. If that's the one thing you learned today, you are not alone. This room is almost filled. Right? Because we all have the same stuff. So we do not need to be embarrassed. It's normal. We all have it. Remember, you grew up, the time that you grew up economically was built for us to consume. That's how America became what it was. It was a generation of consumption. Our parents went to the war, came back, bought a house on a GI Bill, built what we now know as the suburbs, and then Sears sold us everything to fill that house. And that's why all of us have the exact same stuff. And then we inherited that stuff when our parents passed away, and now we have our next version of suburbs. Right? I could deep dive on the economics of America, but there's a reason we all have the same stuff. Right? We all have it. So we all have the same problems with stuff. It's normal. Start small, an easier area, right? And then you're going to, as you grow that muscle to declutter, then you start to deal with the harder parts. A lot of hoarders, I have done a lot of work with hoarding. Hoarders tend to be incredibly intelligent, and they hoard books and paper. Right? Because they're, by the way, top three professions for a hoarder. It's going to blow people away. You might want to guess. Teachers, nurses, social workers, caregivers. Hoarders don't keep stuff for themselves. They keep it to give away to other people because they get their self-worth and happiness from giving other stuff away. On the male side, it's doctors, engineers, and lawyers. Brilliant. All right, everybody's like, you just described my mom and my dad. Yeah, I did. All right? They're incredibly intelligent, their brain is bigger than ours, and they think they can do more than space actually allows. And they probably can, actually. They're much more successful than we are. By the way, not to get on the hoarding, it's all fascinating stuff. Men die, hoarders are 51% male, 49% female. If you watch my TV show, you think it's 100% 65-year-old white women with cats. It's not. It's not. The cat thing is real. That's easy love. You get the most amount of affection for the least amount of effort. Very small area. This keeps you from moving forward. Keeps you. All right. We talked about legacy a lot. The number one thing for me is focusing on your legacy. All right. When I start a house, I create what is called a legacy list. I had a TV show called Legacy List with Matt Paxton. It was a great show on PBS. I got to go and visit with grandmas. I'd say, Grandma, tell me the 5 most important items in your house. And then tell me the stories. And that was the show. Could only do that on PBS. It was awesome. I loved it. For me, legacy list would be my dad's ring. I got a guitar from one of my, if you follow me online, I actually got to clean out one of my best friends from growing up. He passed away tragically, and I got to clean out his house, and his mother gave me his guitar. What a legacy list is the top 5 items that mean the most to you, that tell your family story, that will tell who you are, who your parents were, and how they lived after you are gone. That's what a legacy list is. I used to call it a fire list. When I was starting with hoarders, I would say, hey, write on a piece of paper the 5 most important items that matter. And they'd be like, well, can I write on the back? Sure, write on the back. Yeah, double space it, do whatever you need. And then I would get a stopwatch. That's how long ago? I'd pull out a stopwatch, not a cell phone, but a stopwatch. I'd say, go, house is on fire, you got 2 minutes. Go find all these things. And I would use that as a point to say, hey, we got too much stuff. Well, what it turned into, you can't have a TV show named Fire List. And so I changed it to Legacy List. And it ended up being right. It's the right fit. And if you read the book, it really details in how to create the list, what to do. But at the end of the day, it prioritizes what's most important in your family. And if you believe into my belief, which is stories are why we hold on to the stuff, this will prioritize the top stories. And you start to celebrate the people that matter the most. And what happens is you don't need your grandfather's 20 undershirts to remember him, because you've already told 2 really good, fascinating stories, and you've documented those stories. Right? The key here is telling the story. Now, the legacy is not the item. It's the family story. The story is the legacy, not the stuff. All right. Tell the stories. Now, we talked about documenting it. Now I want to tell the stories. If you don't tell the stories, they didn't happen. You have to tell to the next generation. All right? Sharing the story, it separates the emotion. It allows you, because you've now lived on other people know it. But you all have incredible stories. All right? You all have amazing stories. But if you do not share them, they didn't happen. Right? All right, how do we tell the stories? This is where technology gets into important. If you were able to sign up for this class today, you are able to use technology to record your stories. End of the line is a comment I get all the time. People say, hey, this is all great, but I don't have children. I'm the last one in my family. Who do I share these stories with? I am proud to say I've been working with a lot of communities lately, and we're starting to see communities do show and tell nights where residents are coming in and bringing an item and sharing their stories. You may not think anybody wants to hear your stories. I assure you they do. It's usually strangers that want to hear your stories. All right, I use an app called Artifacts, Artifcts. It's not misspelled. That is the right way for the brand. I guess they couldn't afford the A. But I use it. It's called Artifacts. It's a really cool app. You take a picture of the item, and then you hit record or audio, and you tell the story. It's real simple. We use this with all of our clients now. We literally just sit in the room and let grandma tell her story. How do you tell a story? Well, this is really quick. You guys come from a generation where you're supposed to be academically perfect. You got to let go of that. You do not need to be perfect. Just tell what you remember. Right? You're going to get stuck if you don't remember everything. Doesn't matter. Just be like, okay, well, it was sunny that day. It was a wood floor. It creaked. I remember it being breezy. When you start to tell the stories, you'll start to remember more to it. Memories start more memories. I cannot stress this enough. Memories create more memories. The more you start talking, don't let it be perfect. It doesn't need to be. Oh, there was a lady there. She was tall. She had long hair. One of my great aunts, I can't remember her name. Might have been Lucy. She watched the kids at the church on Sunday. You start to tell things you remember, and all of a sudden, it was Jane. It was Jane. Okay, I got it. Because you remembered some dumb detail from something else. Okay? Just start telling the story how it is. And people will ask. Now, what if you are horrible? This is the slide you should take pictures of. What if you are horrible? Everyone says, Matt, you're an amazing storyteller. It's what you do. Great. If you suck at telling stories, have someone in your family ask you these questions. Right? They grow from very easy, where did you grow up? What did it look like? All the way to look at number 10. What's the one thing you want everyone to know about before you're gone? That advances. We do it in order, 1 to 10. It eases people in. I'm going to ask number 5. What was your first car? Anybody want to just blurt it out? Pinto. 59 what? 59 Ford. The Volkswagen Beetle. 64 Pontiac. 4 on the floor? Yeah? It was automatic. Really? Wow. All right. 78 Cadillac, somebody said. All right, everyone's starting to get excited. Right? This is a good question. Yeah, now I'm going to steal all your cards. Yeah, now I know all your passwords, right? Okay. Anybody first job? First job, go to that. What'd you get paid? Newspaper girl, how much did you make? Right? $1.25 a week, right? What was your first job? Movie theater ticket taker. I love it. 82 cents an hour. I was at McDonald's, $2.25 an hour. I was a Friday. I was rich. I mean, I was like, Mom, you don't have to work anymore. Like, we are good. Yeah, single mom. All right. If you really can't create your own legacy, you can. This is just a cheat to help you get there. Have the grandkids, have someone in your life, have a neighbor. Again, if you're at this end of the line thing, this is a great exercise. I tell families all the time, if you've got a neighbor in a community and you don't know what to do, get a bottle of wine, sit down, and go through these questions together. That'll be a fun night. You'll be amazed. All right, letting go. This is the last. We're almost done, y'all. Letting go. This is tip number 5. How do you get rid of stuff? I am very big at donating over selling, although I do sell a lot of stuff. I want you to know you will never, Blue Star will back me up on this, you will never be happy with the amount of money you receive. You will always be happy with the amount of joy that you receive from giving it away. Right? There is always someone that needs it more than you need the cash. Right? I cannot stress how much. I had a guy I had a lot of guys who used to work for me that were homeless. Leroy, lady's house one day, and the shirt was all destroyed. And the lady goes, yeah, I think I'll donate it. And Leroy goes, ma'am, I don't mean to be disrespectful. He goes, I am homeless, I am not ugly. I need your good stuff, not your trash. And he was right. I work with a lot of groups like Dress for Success, we work with immigrant groups, Catholic Charities. I don't care who you donate with. Find one that you truly care about. Because the more you care about them, the more willing you will be to donate. By the way, I cost $200 an hour to come to your house. You understand what I'm saying? If everybody in the world gave everything away, I would not have a job. And I'd be totally cool with that. Don't be afraid to give it away. Someone else will appreciate it more than you did. All right. I should let you know, I am Goodwill's national spokesperson. I like Goodwill, but here I am again yet to say, you do not have to use Goodwill. Some people don't like them. That's fine. That being said, we sell a lot of stuff. I want you to be very realistic when you're downsizing. I want you to focus on your real life, not your fantasy life. I don't think we need to keep them. And there are people that need said clothes. They can use them. We use Dress for Success, which is a great organization that uses all those clothes to give people that are incarcerated or homeless clothes to go to job interviews. It's a wonderful thing. Wonderful thing. All right. This includes all your workout gear, all those bicycles and treadmills that we find that are really just expensive coat racks. All right. Yes, this includes all your board games, all the yarn, the bread maker you bought during the pandemic. what was that, pressure cooker? Remember, everybody bought a pressure cooker during the pandemic. Yep, you can donate it. Got a lot of them. That includes the 25 vases that you have in your living room that you've only used that vase when someone gave you those flowers. You can get rid of all but one of them. It's okay. We don't need, you're not going to fill them with pennies. Just get rid of them. Donate them. Right? Every single, and that includes newspaper clippings, National Geographics. Yes, National Geographics. I can't sell any of those. They're all digitized now. What was the one that I can't even donate encyclopedias anymore. They won't. The donation places won't accept them. I always think of my the 1969 Encyclopedia Britannica was like the Cadillac of encyclopedias. It was very expensive. And if you look up a rainbow in that encyclopedia, it's a black and white picture of a rainbow. Technology has changed that. Okay? All right. I'll let you read this. Let me know when you get to the end. How many of us are holding on to stuff because we're afraid a dead person's going to be mad at us? I don't put that in there because you're not doing it, okay? I cannot tell you how many people say, well, I don't want to upset my mom. Well, where's your mom? Oh, she's been dead for 30 years. Okay? I promise you, they'll be okay with it. They want you to have a better life. Okay? AARP asked me to take this out of the book, and I refused. Because it's important. This is this is the perfection part that we all hold on to. And we feel guilted and obligated to hold on to it. By the way, we do the same thing with our adult children's stuff. Why do I have a basement full of your child's stuff? He's 44 and he has a bigger house than you do. He's moved twice. Yeah, this whole thing was about you. We brought you in for this one, right? Yeah. Now, we have found that, and it is an issue right now. All the adult children are moving back in. They're bringing all their stuff. Your house is not a storage unit. A storage unit costs $150 a month. If they want to pay that, so be it. It blows my mind that I see people that are unable to move into a better community because they're holding on to their kids' stuff. That's just insane. Guilt is something you all have very much of. There's a lot of Catholic people that talked to you earlier today. You come by it naturally. You don't need to hold on to this guilt. You are living a great life. You're allowed to move forward. I promise you. Right? You gotta, and you're going to come to a point in this cleanup process where you're going to feel so guilty for doing something. And I want you to look back on this moment right now. You are free of that guilt. This is me telling you right now, you are free of the guilt. You are free. Thank God Almighty, you are free. You don't need the guilt. It's just stuff. Most of us got 15 years left in this room. And that's a really morbid number to say. God willing, I got 25 years left. Do I really want to spend it going through crap? You're in Florida, for God's sakes. Go outside. I don't want you spending more time on the guilt. All right, and that's the guilt we see is that the thing we call punting. My grandma made my mom keep this couch. She didn't want it, but my grandma made her keep it. And now she's trying to make me keep it. And I don't want it. But we get guilted into keeping it. Right? It's usually a porch. It's a couch in that room that you're not allowed to go into, and it's got plastic on it. You're not allowed to sit on it. And it's been 40 years old. It's ridiculous. All right? How do you know if your kids actually want something? You ask them. And they'll say no, and then you'll say, well, she's young. She doesn't know what she's talking about. Anyway, I'm going to hold on to it for a few more years. If they say no twice, then it's yours. Do what you want with it. You don't have to hold it for them forever. I cannot stress to you how many families I've seen broken up over stuff. And it's ridiculous. It's just stuff. It doesn't matter. You know who you are. If you're the oldest adult daughter, you're probably the better of the two. I can tell you that right now. The oldest adult daughter. How many of you are the oldest adult daughter? That's who usually gets stuck with doing the stuff. All right? The oldest. I think everyone in this room, by the way, everyone in this room, their clientele is the oldest adult daughter. Right? That's who hires us, because regardless of where they are in age, that's who's responsible for all this. Be the better person. Your sister from California is going to act that way. Let her act that way. It doesn't matter. It's just stuff. I cannot stress how many families I've seen just It ruins the family. It's not worth it. Downsizing, if you can tell from my belief, is this is an opportunity to define your legacy for many generations to come. It's an opportunity to be an amazing experience. Or you can do it the other way. And it's on us to make sure we do it the right way. If you focus on stories, sharing your stories, and truly, truly embracing what the generation was before you, if you really celebrate it, you'll be able to let go of the items, and you'll have a very firm legacy for generations to come. Buying more stuff does not get rid of stuff. That's the last tip. You have enough bags and boxes. You don't need to buy another vacuum to clean. The exercise industry is built on this concept. I'm going to lose weight, so I'm going to go spend $1,000 at Lululemon and then $3,000 at Dick's, and then I haven't lost any weight yet. Same thing with downsizing. Right? You don't need to buy a bunch of stuff. You have enough brown paper bags from the grocery store that went out of business 5 years ago. It's in your pantries next to all those flower pots that you haven't used. And so we used to wrap our textbooks in high school. You double bag those brown paper bags, they can lift anything. They can lift books, you name it. Don't buy more stuff, you don't need it. Tell your stories, they live on forever. Don't let your stuff hold you back, guys. I can't stress this enough. I can dance and I can drive is probably my favorite quote. I met a guy named Henry. I cleaned his house out. It was a very sad situation. His wife died very quickly. We had to move into a senior living community. We brought him in. He was devastated. It's a very weird thing. We'll spend 2 weeks with the family and get to know him really, really well. And then you drop him off at their new home and you shut the door and you may or may not ever see him again. Well, I saw Henry a year later. And I said, dude, how you doing? He goes, man, I can drive and I can dance. He goes, life's pretty good. No one has ever asked me to move them back. They've always asked me to come, well, you were right, I didn't need this. Can you come pick this up and sell it or donate it for me? I hear that. But no one has ever said, move me back. So if you're thinking about it, man, get going, figure out where you're going to go first, and then go create your legacy list tonight, and then clean 10 minutes a day. I have a new show, Filthy Fortunes, comes out March 9th. It is literally what you just learned today. It's me hanging out with a bunch of cool people, taking out their stuff, selling it, and hearing their stories. And they get to empty their house. So it's a super fun, positive show on Discovery. And then my business, Clutter Cleaner, we do this all around the country. If you have a really big, bad estate that you need help cleaning out, we're happy to help you do it. Do you guys feel like you can go and get started today? Can you do 10 minutes?
No matter how I tried to put you down, I still carry you around. I still just can't believe you're gone. You may haunt me from now on. I walk the streets of this old